release me from my winter hell. I've got candles and candy, I can be your daddy if you only let me creep into your prison cell. Hey baby, can you tell I'm not a criminal? Your choice is seminal. I want you to stay true to what's right for you. No matter who or know what will others say, just find your way and try to stay true. Just speak low, stand in your row, try not to show this life's a show. Try not to glow way down below. Oh, it's a lot of woe, and that's not a place where you would like to go. I've got cigarettes and brandy, which could come in handy if you just help me loosen up my hand grenades fuse. Baby, don't refuse my truth, but it's up to you not to choose. I want you to stay true to what's right for you. No matter who or know what will others say, just find your way and try to stay true. I want you to stay true to what's right for you. No matter who or know what will others say, just find your way and try to stay true, 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 true,
Hi, you guys. How are you? I hope everybody is doing very well. I hope you guys had a fantastic Thanksgiving. I did. Yes, I had a fantastic visit with Minnie Bindi. It was way too short, though. Way too short. So yeah, and that's kind of like I haven't been live because uh, I've just been kind of bummed because I miss her. It's hard when it's hard. So anyway, I don't want to get all like emotional or anything like that. So, because what we have to talk about is going to be emotional enough. I don't know how many of you guys are following this case, but it happened in 2024, in January of 2024, and I watched what I could watch then, and now she is it's her trial. So, and I started watching because I am following the Brian Walsh trial as well. It's a fascinating case too, and if you followed Karen Reed at all, there's going to be Trooper Proctor. Investigated that case, I understand, and is supposed to testify, and I just have no idea how that's going to go. But I am rather curious to see how it will go. But anyway, the reason I decided to cover this case um, instead of the other case, instead of Brian Walsh's case, is because when I was watching the opening statements, um, after the opening statements had concluded, or maybe it was before. I think it might have been before. So before the opening statements got started, the prosecutor wanted the father to be able to be um, on the record and recognized as this child's designated representative, and therefore wanted the father to be able to be in the courtroom prior to his testimony and after his testimony. And there was a bit of a kerfuffle back and forth between the prosecutor and the defense attorney because um, he's not recognized legally as JD's biological father. He's not legally recognized. He's not on the birth certificate. There was no custody arrangement or anything like that. And the prosecutor pointed out that if he is not recognized as the father or recognized as a representative of the victim, this child would have nobody in the courtroom representing them. And that just broke my heart. And I thought, God, can you imagine? And so I said, let me cover this story. So this trial takes place in Georgia. Like I said, it happened back in January of 2024 at Georgia Southwestern State University. The GBI was called in to investigate a child's death after 18-month-old JD was admitted via the emergency room unresponsive. He had bruises on his cheek, on both sides of his cheek, on his head. He had a hematoma at the back of his head, almost like at the base of his skull. And yeah. And the reason that this trial is also interesting to me is because the defense is sort of putting forth this kind of an alternate suspect defense, basically pointing the finger at the father. Here's the deal. All right. So, the mother of the child is living in Mexico. The baby was born in Florida, and she has other children in Mexico. So she was going to take JD to Mexico, and the father said, "No, why don't you give him to me?" So he took custody of the baby. And at the time when she got pregnant with JD, she was married to somebody else. And so there was issues over what his actual name is. He goes by, his father referred to him as JD. It was for, they called him Jackson. And now it's in the description, and for whatever reason, I cannot hold on. Let me go look at my own description. Like his second name completely. A second, let me look. Okay, his father's name is Julian Williams, and they thought, and he was under the impression that she had named the baby Jaxton Drew. And she didn't. She named him Romeo, and then his last name starts with an A. Oh, thank you, Justified. I'm glad you like my background. Thank you very much. You know me. Can't have it, too holly jolly or anything over here, That just does not go with my personality at all. And so he didn't find out the baby's legal name until the baby died. Well, for months, he was going and traveling from Georgia to Florida to visit the baby every other week, and he would have him. And and even after he got custody of him, the mother was the one arranging all of his checkups. And so he would travel to Tallahassee from Georgia, which it's, from Georgia to Florida, it's about an 8-hour drive. It might be more like 6 for Tallahassee. I know where I used to live in Florida, it was like an 8-hour drive from there to the metro Atlanta area. So he was doing all of that. And at the time, he lived with his mother and his sister. Well, his mother and his sister his mother and Julian were the breadwinners for the household. So he works. His mom worked. Well, his mom got diagnosed with cancer, and she ended up passing away and left the house to Julian and his sister. And his sister was the primary caretaker to JD. And then he met Trinity, and she did not meet JD until JD was about a year old. Okay. And the prosecution's theory to the case is that she basically resented JD. They're gonna, on day 2, they show there's texts. And so on this particular day, Julian came to visit her in the dorms. She was in college, and Julian and JD stayed with her. And he left the next day to go get pizza from Pizza Hut and sodas from Walmart. He was gone about 35 minutes at the most. And excuse me, he was gone about 35 minutes. And as he is entering the dorm, she's telling him that he's unresponsive and that he fell off the bed or he fell off a chair. It changed. So I could go over this with you guys. I could play the opening statements, but they're kind of tedious, and the way that the prosecutor, how do I explain this? The way he presented his opening statements makes your brain kind of hurt. So I'm going to spare you from that. And I just want to skip ahead. And I want you guys, hold on a second. Let me find it. Here it is. I want to get to where the officers who responded, their testimony. Hold on, let me share my screen. And then we'll skip forward and listen to, oh man, why did I do that? We'll listen to the biological father, his testimony, and I'll just recap every night. You probably do, boss lady, know this case. It's just that I know how to work my computer. Thank you, Windows. Now that Chrome has Gemini, like it's giving me all kinds of suggestions. I don't want to do things new. I like the way that I'm doing it. Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Don't appreciate these high pressure sales tactics. You probably do know about this case, boss lady. It made huge headlines everywhere. I remember it from last year as well. But, I don't cover open cases that often. You guys know how I feel about for me personally, I just don't think I'm that great at it. And so anyway, I don't usually cover it, but you have heard about this case. Once you start seeing the courtroom and once you see the defendant, I think that you're gonna remember who she is. And you're going to start to remember this case. But also, I just wanted to tell you guys that tomorrow I have to get up at 4:30 to take care, to be over at my daughter's house so I can watch the Nuggie. So I can't be on super duper late, but we'll get through as much as we can today. And then I'll just, I don't have to watch her this weekend at all. So we'll just use the weekend to catch up. And I had thought about streaming the trial, but again, that's like an 8-hour day. And I have a lot of, next week, I have the Nuggie a lot. I have been missing NK as well. I don't know where he is. MK, if you catch this on the replay, we's looking for you. Where you at, buddy? We all miss you. Lulu Lola, she is not from Louisiana. She's from Georgia. This took place in Americus, Georgia. So, it happened in Georgia. The baby was born in Florida, Tallahassee, Florida, to be specific. Yes, this is a current trial happening now. Yeah. So I've just been giving you guys the recaps. Yeah, I think also, Boss Lady, a lot of people are including me, I'm very interested in the Brian Walsh trial. But I'm only one person, and I don't know that I could do both trials justice. And this one just tugged at my heartstrings. So maybe after I do this one, there's going to be a lull in trials. Maybe we can do this one together. And then after this one is over, we can go and look at the Brian Walsh trial. I have a feeling that one's going to go on for a little bit. So, yeah. All right. Are you ready? Let's get started. All right. Kind of chill, but he doesn't take any crap either. So I'm going to put the testimony up to 1.25, just, for brevity. It doesn't actually, make it too fast where you can't understand it. But oh, wait a minute. Hang on a minute. Excuse me, Your Honor. Before I forget, Trinity Poague is the defendant's name. Trinity Poague is out on bail. She's on bond. She is charged with 2 counts of, what do they call it? It's Georgia's answer to first-degree murder. It's felony murder, 2 counts of cruelty to children in the first degree, and 2 counts of aggravated battery. Malice murder. That's what it is. Malice murder. So, but she's out on bond. And back when she got bond, the father gave an interview, and he was very upset about that. So, which I don't blame him. All right, so let's put this up here. All right.
Come in and out. I think you've noticed that people stand. They do that for me too when I come in and out. But I, at some point, ask them to not. That I want everybody to be comfortable, including myself, because when I walk in, I don't want everybody to come up and down. So I'm going to let everybody know that it's not necessary to stand as you come in and out of the jury, because frankly, it takes you a little while, and I don't want you to feel uncomfortable about that. But obviously, everybody respects you. Okay, I'm not going to prohibit you from standing, but you do not have to stand when the jury comes in and out. Mr. Lamb, you can call your first witness.
The state calls Lieutenant Nate Millage.
Well, boss lady, you're welcome, babe. You probably haven't seen or heard a word about this case in Tallahassee because it happened in Georgia. The connection to Tallahassee is that is where JD was born. That is where he saw the doctors, but the case occurred in Georgia. You're going to notice that this defendant takes copious notes.
Wait towards the witness stand, and then when you get there, if you'll just pause for just a moment and look towards me, please. Raise your right hand. Do you swear that the evidence you will give in this case will be the truth? So help you God.
I do.
Have a seat, sir.
It is Americus, Georgia, boss lady. That's where it's happened. The judge might look scary, but I just love him. He looks like, I mean, he's like, telling everybody, hey, you don't have to stand up or, every time I get in, or you don't have to stand up every time the jury walks in,
Sure.
Pull that microphone towards you, sir. We want to test it out. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2.
Would you tell the jury your name, please?
My name is Nathaniel Millage, Lieutenant at Georgia Southwestern State University.
Okay. Lieutenant Nathaniel Millage, and can you spell Millage for the court reporter, please?
It's Milledge.
And you are employed, you said, at Georgia Southwestern State University?
That's correct.
What department are you employed in there?
The police department.
And how long have you been with the GSW Police Department?
Total of about 27 years.
And on January 14, which was a Sunday, January 14, 2024, were you on duty?
Yes, I was.
And did you receive some information concerning an event which may have occurred on the GSW campus?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Just briefly, if you would tell the jury what information you received and from where.
Okay. Initially, I received a call, as I recall, from Lieutenant Allen from Americus Police Department. I think he was at the emergency room. I think he may have been working security at that time.
Okay. Did you receive a call from Allen, or did you get notified by Central?
I did receive a call from Central, but I also spoke with Lieutenant Allen.
Okay, so both. You
Right.
received what is Central? What do you mean by Central?
The 911 center.
Okay. And then you also received a phone call from Lieutenant
Allen.
Tim Allen from the Americus Police Department, right? Okay. And did you subsequently have some conversation with Chief Lewis about about information being received concerning a matter at the college?
So Sarah says that's very interesting about the notes. That's exactly what the defendant did when I was a juror. Does she communicate with counsel much? I see her communicating with the female attorney that's next to her, or she might be the paralegal. I haven't seen that. I have not seen the female question anybody. She's not made any objections or anything like that. So, but that doesn't mean she's not an attorney. It just means I can't say she is, because she hasn't done any of that. The male is the one who's been handling all of the business. I think that okay, so this is another thing you guys should know, and it's kind of difficult to listen to, only because it's kind of irksome in the manner in which it's being done. I understand fully that the defense's job is to mount a vigorous defense, okay? And the timeline of this is very, very tight. We're talking about her only being alone with this child for somewhere between 30 and 35 minutes, okay? And so and also one of the other issues that the defense raises is that the investigation was conducted very, very poorly. And so therefore, the conclusions that they came to during this investigation are no good, because the investigation was not done correctly. So I forgot about that, and I wanted to point that out to you guys. Let's keep going.
Yes, I did.
Okay. What was the nature of the call? I mean, without much detail, but I mean, just, you know, if you're going to summarize the nature of the call that you got, or the word that you got about what had happened.
I received a call that there was a baby transported from Georgia Southwestern to the emergency room, and I think it was Lieutenant Allen who informed me that initially he was told that the baby had fallen, that the baby was injured. At the time, didn't know the extension of the baby's injuries.
Okay. So there was an injured baby at the hospital,
right?
And somebody at the hospital had figured out, I suppose from talking to someone else, that the baby came from the GSW campus.
That's
Is that
correct.
And jurisdictionally, what does that mean that if the child, if something happened on the GSW campus as opposed to happening, on the street out here in front of the courthouse?
It's GSW's jurisdiction.
It's GSW's jurisdiction, right?
That's correct.
Americus Police Department may assist, but you guys have sort of the primary jurisdiction over events or acts which occur on the campus. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And so once you learned that it was a injured child at the hospital, what did you do in terms of taking next steps?
At that point, myself and another officer was Lorenzo Johnson was on duty at the time. I went to the hospital to start the investigation, and I sent him to the room and told him to secure it and not let anyone go into the room.
Okay. So you went to the hospital where the baby was.
That's correct.
But you told Johnson to go to the room that you believed that, from what you had been told, that you believed where something might have occurred.
That's correct.
Okay. And so where was that? What location did you send Johnson to?
It was at Southwestern Oaks Dorm 2.
Oaks 2?
Right.
That's OAKS, right?
OAKS,
Like the number
Southwestern
2?
Oaks.
Okay, Southwestern Oaks.
Right.
Okay. Southwestern Oaks in like the numeral 2?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. And that's the name of the dormitory, or that is the name of the dormitory.
That's the
right?
name of the dormitory.
Okay. And did you...
Also, I just have to pause for fair use commentary. I'm going to say a couple of things. Hello, Amelia Sparkles. Hello, Patricia. Good to see both of you. It's good to see everybody. I'm so glad everybody is here. These attorneys and witnesses talk over each other quite a bit. I don't know how the court reporter is doing it because it happened so much, particularly when the father testifies, and there are many other witnesses too that it happened to, but I noticed it predominantly initially when, hey, Grandma Sherry, when the father testified, that if I were that court reporter, I'd be throwing a shoe. Yes, it is Americus, Georgia. That's where it happened, Americus. I'm probably not. Let me see if I can say it real good with my twang. Americus, Georgia. Not Americas, Georgia. Americus, Georgia. Americus. All right.
Provide him with any information about any, did you identify for him any particular room in the dormitory that he should take control of?
Once we confirmed what room it was, I did.
Okay, so you gave him a room number.
Right, that's correct.
Okay. After you got to the hospital and began conducting a preliminary investigation, I suppose, into what may have happened, did you do something else in connection with this investigation?
Once I got to the hospital, I did speak with the father of the father of the baby, Mr. Williams, I think his name
Julian
was.
Williams, that sound right?
And Miss Poague.
Okay. But then did you do something else in terms of procuring assistance from another agency?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and what was that you did?
I contacted, after speaking with Chief Lewis, and informing him of the suspected injuries of severity, and we decided that to call the GBI to get their assistance.
Suffice to say, you learned very quickly the child was severely injured.
Right, that's correct.
Whatever the cause of those injuries, you knew he was severely injured.
Right, well, the doctor at the time, Dr. Busman, came in, and I was witnessing him inform the baby's father and Miss Poague of the baby's condition.
Okay, and once you learned that, you spoke to the chief, and then y'all called in the GBI.
That's correct.
Okay. What would have been your instruction, if any, to Johnson? Is it Sergeant Johnson? Officer
Johnson.
Officer Johnson. What would have been your instruction to Officer Johnson at that time about maintaining the control and integrity of the scene, of the location that he'd been sent to?
Well, initially, prior to me leaving campus, I gave him those instructions because I didn't know the severity of it, and I told him to secure it and to not let anyone enter the room. My instructions were to treat it as if it was a crime scene.
So as you can see, okay, right away, they knew that this was going to be over their heads as far as an investigation goes. And so they called GBI. So this is why I listened intently to the opening statements made by the defense, but I was like, this is a lot of, this is like this is a big nothing burger. I could see if the campus police are the ones that were handling this investigation, but they didn't. And happy birthday, Crime Crochet. It's good to see you, babe. Let me sing to you. Are y'all ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Crime Crochet. Happy birthday to you. Also, happy birthday, babe. So glad you're here. Also, y'all, I've been watching this over on Long Crime Trials, okay? Let me just tell y'all, these commenters, savage, okay? They're making a big, huge thing about her being called the beauty queen. Look, she was in a pageant. She won, okay? She was Miss something of her little county, and she had just been crowned. And when all of this happened, they done took that crown away and appointed somebody else because the ethics committee said, no, we cannot have a Miss whatever little town she's from wearing our sash representing our town when she's out here being charged with murdering a child. So yeah. So they took her crown and they took her sash. They said, no.
Okay. So sometimes you don't know if a place is a crime scene, do you?
That's true.
And so you make whatever provisions you can make to preserve it, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Was that essentially your intention in sending Johnson there?
That was my intention.
Okay. No further questions this time.
All right, cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor. Officer Miller, Dante Gamble, how you doing today?
Doing fine, sir.
Just got a few questions for you. First of all, you stated that Lieutenant Allen, you had a conversation with him early on, and that's what spurred you on to go to the hospital and that type thing, correct?
Yes, I did have a conversation with him.
And Lieutenant Allen indicated to you that Mr. Williams had told him that the child had fallen, correct?
He said that they said that the baby had fallen.
So you don't know if he said Williams or you don't know who said it, just they said it?
That's correct. So he was told that.
Now, when you got that information and then you went to the hospital realizing there was some injuries to the child, you had already at that time contacted one of your officers and told him to secure the room back where Trinity Poague lived?
I did that before I left campus.
Okay, so before you left campus, now when you got to the hospital, was Trinity Poague there?
Yes, she was.
And was Mr. Williams there?
Yes.
And of course the child was there, correct?
Yes, he was.
And you had Officer Johnson back securing the scene per your orders, correct?
That's correct.
And as far as you know, he followed that order and kept that place secure where no one could go in it, correct?
That's correct.
And it would be fair to state that Miss Poague could not have gone back at any time and tampered with the room from that moment forward, correct?
That's correct.
And so there was no possibility of someone coming in removing evidence, correct?
There should not have been.
And there should not have been any possibility of someone coming in and cleaning up the room or anything of that nature, correct?
That's correct.
And the purpose of that securing was to make sure that the only people that could go into that room forward would be some kind of technicians with law enforcement to collect evidence and that type thing, correct?
That's correct.
And to your knowledge, in fact, there was eventually someone who came and did that, correct?
That's correct.
Now, you weren't part of that, were you?
I was not.
And I know you had this initial part of the investigation, but after that, you didn't do any follow-up interviews or anything like that with potential witnesses, did you?
I did not.
I mean, once you turn over to the GBI, is that you kind of step back and let them take over?
Yes, sir.
And other than that preliminary stuff, you would have no other hand in the investigation, correct?
Not directly.
How about indirectly? How would you have it there?
Well, I was interviewed by the GBI.
And so they would get whatever information you got from that initial stuff.
Right.
But I mean, you wouldn't go out on your own and say, let me see if I can talk to some witnesses, let's say.
No.
That wasn't your job, was it?
No, it wasn't.
And the purpose of securing that room was to preserve that room so that evidence could be collected from it and make sure none of it was destroyed or tampered with in any way, correct?
That's correct.
That's all the questions I have.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
All right, may this witness be excused?
He may be.
All right. Lieutenant, you're free to go or stay. Mr. Lamb, you can call your next witness.
State calls Officer Lorenzo Johnson.
Jen Goodwine says, is he asking a lot of leading questions? Which attorney, the defendant, the defense attorney, or the prosecutor? Yeah, that was cross, babe. Yeah, you can lead on cross. You remember that.
Officer Johnson, if you would look here to the witness stand.
Come on, Officer
Give me this
Johnson,
pause
let's
right there
see.
Before you have a seat and look towards me, please. Raise your right hand. Do you swear that the evidence you give in this case should be the truth, so help you God? Yes. Okay, have a seat, sir.
Yes, she was a beauty queen. In fact,
What is
I'll
your
tell
name?
you, hold on.
What is your name?
Lorenzo Lar Johnson.
Lorenzo Lamar Johnson?
Lar, L-A-R.
L-A-R. Lorenzo Lar Johnson. Okay. And where are you presently employed?
Georgia Southwestern State University.
And what?
All right, she was Miss Donaldsonville. That's where she's from, Donaldsonville. Took me a minute to, remember how to pronounce her name.
What department are you employed in there?
As of right now, I'm in residential life. And
Residential life,
Yes.
okay. And how long have you been employed in residential life?
a little more than a year now.
Prior to that, did you have a position in a different department at GSW?
Yes.
And where was that?
Public safety building. Department, rather.
Public safety department?
Yes.
And what was your position there?
Police officer.
Police officer? How long had you worked as a police officer at GSW? If you can remember.
I came in 2022, I believe.
Okay. So as of January of 2024, you would have been there for a couple of years.
Going on 2, I believe.
Do you recall the day of January 14, 2024?
Yes.
And was there an event that happened at GSW that day, or an event that apparently had happened at GSW that day that prompted you to be given some instructions and to take some action?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me how you first?
So basically how all of this got started is that when they arrived at the emergency room with the baby, okay, the doctors knew immediately that the story that they were given is not the story, is not what happened to this child. That if it happened the way that Trinity Poague said it happened, these injuries were way too severe. And so immediately they knew something was wrong. And that's when they alerted law enforcement. So just to keep that straight for you guys. But yeah, And the thing of it is, although the defense is really trying to point the finger at the father, the fact of the matter is that, and this is, it's going to get particularly the second day, when the medical examiner and also the emergency room doctor testify. There's some very spicy cross-examination, because the hematoma that was formed on the back of JD's skull, the blood that was up underneath the skin, they could palpably feel it emerging. So that was indicative of an injury that had happened in fairly short. This happened very quickly. This was not. This isn't something where this injury occurred on Saturday and they took him to the emergency room on Sunday. So this is how they've narrowed down the timeline, and this is how they've narrowed down to Trinity Poague and only Trinity Poague being responsible.
First learned of the event that had happened.
I believe we received a call from Chief Lewis at some point. Lieutenant Mills did.
Do you recall if you might have received some instructions from Lieutenant Millage?
Yes.
Okay. What instruction did you receive from Lieutenant Millage?
I was told to report to Oaks 2 to secure the scene of the incident that happened on campus.
Okay. And Oaks 2 is a dormitory there, is that right?
Yes.
Were you given a particular room that you should secure?
Yes.
Did you go there after you got that call, that instruction?
Yes.
How long did it take you to get there after you got that instruction?
Less than 3 minutes. I would say less than 5 minutes.
What is involved in securing a scene, whether it turns out to be, whether it is or is not, or turns out to be or doesn't turn out to be a crime scene per se? If it is a scene of interest, what is involved in securing that?
Well, immediately I would go to that scene and make sure there's no one inside that particular area. And at that point, I took pictures just to make sure that we have that particular scene photographs. And after that, I immediately secured the room with our emergency tape.
Okay. So you went to the room that you were directed to go to. Do you remember what room number it was by chance?
R158, R159.
158 and 159 are really the same room, right? I mean, it's the same suite.
Yes.
They have the same door.
Yes.
From the hallway.
Yes.
And then once you go inside the room, what is it, just if you could describe for the jury, just sort of the typical layout?
When you first enter the room, it's going to be a room to your left, a room to your right. Before you get to those rooms, you're going to have like a common area, like a sink and a restroom.
Website. I'm going to show you a diagram, and I understand in advance that you didn't prepare this diagram. It was actually taken from the GSW website. But just take a look at States Exhibit 1 and tell me if you recognize what's shown in that diagram.
Yes.
What is shown in there?
You see a restroom, bathroom to your left. You see a sink, vanity.
What that overall? What is that? I mean, is it?
That's the apartment.
It's an apartment or suite,
apartment.
and
yes.
Is that in one of the dormitories or?
Yes.
Okay. The layout that's shown there, is that the same layout as the Oaks 2 dormitory?
Yes.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, will tender States Exhibit 1?
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Admitted without objection.
Okay. And we'll get some more detail about that later. I'm just going to have him identify it because he actually is from GSW. Well, I tell you what. Let's just go ahead and let you tell the jury what the layout is of that room, of that dormitory. Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'm going to display the diagram that he's holding in his hand, or displaying in front of him. I'm going to display it up here so the jury can see it. That's okay.
Once you've admitted it into evidence, you can display it.
Thank you, Your Honor. And assuming that the TV is still on. Well, it's on that screen at least. Let me go up that far. Let's go back to right there. Okay. So can you tell us like the entrance door to this suite or this apartment is where?
It's Oak 2 building.
Okay, but where's the entry from the hallway into there? Where's the entry door?
It's directly in the front. Look, right here. If you look at that, your way, it's right.
Talking about right here?
Yes.
Okay, right, so you go in the front door, there's some sinks to the right, and then a bathroom to the left, right? Toilet and shower?
Yes.
Okay, and then two doors that open into two different areas, two different separated areas, correct?
Yes.
All right. And is that the same layout as the room in question in this case?
Yes.
Fair enough. Okay, when you got to the dorm rather, what was going on at the dormitory?
When I got there, the room was empty. Both rooms was empty. One door was shut.
Okay, the door was closed and the room was empty?
The roommate door was closed. That'll be the room on the right-hand side.
Okay.
The other door, the left-hand side, was open.
All right. So the hallway door was closed when you got
Yes.
there. But then when you went in, the door to the right was closed.
Yes.
And the door to the left was open.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Was there anyone in the apartment or in the suite?
No.
How many people were in the area, like in the dormitory in general?
It could have been maybe about 2 students, and one was a RL, I believe. This was on the hallway.
So there weren't many people there.
No.
It was a Sunday, right?
Yes.
Was school in session by that time?
No.
On January 14th?
In section, yes.
School's in session, but of course not
It's
on
weekend.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So there were only a couple of people in the area.
Yes.
You took some pictures and then you said that.
Okay, so now at the very beginning, I had some questions like, it's a college, it's a dorm, she lives on campus. How was she having her boyfriend and his child spend the night? Because apparently they did that quite frequently, especially given the fact that she had a roommate. Well, the answer to that is the roommate worked, and she is or was, I don't know if she still is, I can't remember off the top of my head, but at the time she was a CNA and she worked the overnight shift, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And that is how they were able to spend the night.
You did what?
I secured the door.
How did you secure the door?
I taped it off.
And when you taped it off, what did you do next?
I stood at post outside the door.
Did you leave? Did you leave prior to the time that somebody else was there to take over the scene?
No.
While you were there, did anyone who would not have had authority to enter the room attempt to enter the room?
No.
You remained there until when?
I don't know the exact time. My shift ends at 6. I remember going back to the department close to that time frame.
Okay, so you were there till around the end of your shift?
Yes.
Okay. What happened that led you to leave? I mean, that caused you to leave?
The GBI came.
Okay.
And also the next shift came also.
Who?
The next shift.
Oh, the next shift came on.
Yes.
Okay. So the next shift came on, and then the GBI came on.
Yes.
But you maintained control of that scene until other officers arrived, either from the next shift or until the actual GBI agent arrived.
Yes.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so let's go ahead.
Good morning.
He,
Doing okay?
Great.
I don't have a couple of questions, but just to make certain, from the time that you came in
It's the next officer that we want to listen to. Hold on. And then we're going to listen to the father. Because listening to the father will give you a better dynamic. And he says some things in his testimony that they're important. When we get there, I'll point them out. But also, I want to hear what you guys think is important as well, because, you know, just because I think some part of the testimony is, I give it more weight than another part of the testimony. I'm very curious what weight you guys will give the father's testimony.
District Attorney, before you have a seat. So.
Hey, I'm Edison's mama.
Raise your right hand, please.
Good to see you.
You swear the evidence you've given in this case will be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Have a seat, sir. Could you tell the jury your name, please?
Michael Lewis,
And, Mr. Lewis, where are you employed?
Georgia Southwestern State University's campus police.
What is your position there?
I am the chief of police there.
Okay. And how long have you been the chief of police?
5 years.
Have you been employed as a police officer in other capacities prior to that time?
Yes.
And how long have you been a police officer?
My 30th year.
I don't know what's in the water in Georgia, but these officers out here are aging like Benjamin Buttons.
Your 30th year?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
In January of 2014, January 14th, 2024. I said 2014. 2024.
Yes, sir.
Not 2020, not 2014. 2024. On January 14th, 2024, did you become aware of an incident or an event that might have occurred on the GSW campus?
Yes, sir, I did.
How did you become aware of that?
I was given a phone call, I received a phone call from Lieutenant Timothy Allen from the Americus Police Department.
And what was your understanding as to where Allen was when he was calling you?
At the Phoebe Sumter Hospital here in Americus, Georgia.
And what did he, just in general terms, okay, what did he advise you of that?
Hey, Kelly. I have to sing happy birthday to Kelly because I missed her actual birthday. So are you ready? Because I promised I would sing to her. Are you ready, Kelly? Here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy late birthday. I'm sorry I missed it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Kelly. Also, thank you, Boss Lady, for being a member for 45 months. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate your support. Thank you. Thank you. And Neat says, I can finally chat again. My husky believes it's a sin to come in the house when there is snow out. I had to bribe him with sausage. Aw. We don't, they were saying that we might get some snow on Sunday, but I mean on Thursday, tomorrow, but it's going to be like 0.2 of an inch. But still, I'm excited. You know, I love the snow. All right, here we go.
In terms of this incident or event?
Yes, there had been an incident that had occurred, that a baby had been brought to the hospital. That was, I think he advised that the baby was unresponsive and that the baby had come from the campus of Georgia Southwestern.
If something had happened to that child on the campus of Georgia Southwestern, technically, what department would have had jurisdiction over that investigation or that incident?
Yeah, Georgia Southwestern would have.
As opposed to like Americus PD or the Sumter County Sheriff's Office?
That's correct, yes.
Speaking of which, let me just be sure that I cover this now. Where is Georgia Southwestern University?
It's GSW Drive, 800 GSW Drive here in Americus, Georgia.
Okay, and what county is that in?
Sumter.
And what state?
Georgia.
Okay, And the Oak 2 dormitory at GSW, is that dormitory physically on the campus?
It is, yes.
Okay. All right. Moving on. Okay. When you learned that there was a baby at the hospital that was unresponsive and the baby had been transported by someone from GSW, what steps did you take next at that time?
Right. Like I advised, I was actually off duty at the time, so I did advise Lieutenant Allen that I would reach out to Lieutenant Nathaniel Millage, who was actually on duty at the university at the time, and I did in fact do so.
Okay. So you called Millage, and did you give him any instructions or direction about what to do?
Right. So when I initially reached out to him, I reached out to him via my portable radio, which would kept Lieutenant Allen still on my cell phone at the time, and advised him of the incident. He advised me at the time that he was on the phone with Central 911, gathering further information about that incident.
So basically, he got the notification from two different places at the same time. From Central and from you.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So what did you instruct Millage to do?
Right. So of course to go to the hospital and assess what he had and keep me updated.
Okay. Was that essentially to determine if there was a need for further investigation or whether it would in fact be under the jurisdiction of GSW?
Right, just to kind of figure out if the child actually came from GSW and kind of what was going on that led the child from GSW to the hospital.
Okay. Did you subsequently look at some video footage from the campus?
Yeah.
Sarah, same thing for me. Sarah Bellum says, I'm sorry, but GSW will forever be gunshot wound to me. How unfortunate for this university. Yes, that's how I feel. To me, that's every time they say it, I keep thinking of something that I keep thinking of gunshot wound. It is quite unfortunate. Hey, Coffee and Skeletons. Hey, Michelle. Good to see you. I'm doing good. ATS. Hey, babe. Good to see you. Yeah, this is an unfortunate acronym for a college campus. Tosh Magash says, not sure how I got here, but hello. I think Allie transported you. Thank you, Allie, for doing that. Hey, babe, good to see you. Welcome in. We got an Allie rally, but welcome everybody in. I've missed all of you guys. I'm so glad that you're here. This is a really, really sad case. If you missed it, this happened in 2024, January of 2024. And this baby, 18 months old, his government name, his actual name that's listed on his birth certificate is Romeo, but he is referred to as JD for Jaxton Drew. And that is what his father's understanding of the name would be. He's going to explain that. We're going to get to that. But I wanted to cover this case versus, and I will cover Brian Walsh's case. I just want to do this one first because at the very beginning of the trial, before the opening arguments were made or opening statements were made, there was a discussion back and forth between the prosecutor and the defense. And the prosecutor wanted the judge to allow the father to be designated as the victim's representative and therefore be able to sit in on the trial even before his testimony. And there was an argument made by the defense that it would be disruptive to her due process, which is a bunch of malarkey. At any rate, the judge said, okay, let's compromise. He can sit into the trial after he finishes testifying. He was called at the end of day one. But the thing that the prosecutor said that really struck me and made the decision for me about which trial to cover was that if the father was not allowed to sit in on the trial, this child would have no representative. This is all the family that he has. And that broke my heart. And yeah, I just couldn't. I had to cover it. I just had to. So that's where we are.
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And do you recall when you did that?
I did that on the day of the incident itself, on the 14th, I want to believe. That's Sunday.
And what was the purpose of you looking at video?
Right, just to gather some preliminary evidence, I guess, or to pass on to the GBI, who was going to be actually heading the case by that point.
What were you looking at video of?
Of Oaks 2 dormitory, where Miss Trinity Poague was to have been resided at the time.
Did you prepare a schematic or an outline of various times of things that? Well, did you look at video?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. As you looked at the video, did you prepare a schematic or an outline of the various timestamps of when certain things happened at the dormitory?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. What were those things that happened that you made a note of?
Right, just again, it was trying to look at a digital footprint involving Miss Trinity Poague, Mr. Williams, and the baby Jaxton, I think that's the baby's name, just trying to create that digital.
Allie says, I'm glad you're covering this. I was curious about it before, but didn't realize time for trial. I didn't either. That this went quickly. I mean, you know, when we think about how long sometimes it takes for certain cases to get to trial, this happened a year ago. You know, it's taken a year. I do want to say that the timeline for when these injuries are said to have occurred is really tight. There's only about 30 to 35 minutes when Trinity was alone with Jaxton. JD, I'm going to call him what his family calls him. 35 minutes. That's very short. They knew, Michelle, do what you got to do, babe. It's no biggie. I appreciate you being here. Catch it on the replay if you want. If not, you know, it's cool. But it's a very, very short timeline and a very short window. You know, the roommate, for whatever reason, the roommate, while she was working from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Saturday, right, into Sunday, she wasn't there. She didn't come. She didn't come home that morning. She was supposed to, but so it's, you know, this happened very, very, very quickly. So, you know, and that's another thing, Tess. Tess says, I'm thankful you're doing this one too. Lots of people are streaming the other one too. So yay. I am quite interested in that one. And I do want to cover it because as I understand it, everybody's favorite, Michael Proctor, investigated that case. He was part of that case and will be testifying. And why I'm curious about that is for many reasons. First of all, I said this a while back because of what happened in during his event, what he was, you know, he was let go, all of the things, right? I said that it's going to open a Pandora's box for past in cases that have already been investigated, gone to trial, or been resolved through plea deal or whatever. It's going to open up that door, right? That Pandora's box. So, and I'm very, very, and now we're seeing the first one. So I'm very, very interested in that. And I might just have to take a separate time or whatever and just talk about that because I find that fascinating. I don't think this is supposed to be an incredibly long trial.
The footprint of them in the Oaks 2 dormitory.
Okay. So in other words, were you looking to see what time they got there, what time they left?
That's correct.
That sort of thing?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 2. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what is that?
This is going to be the timeline that I prepared the day in questioning about the video footage in Oaks 2.
Now, that's a photocopy of yours. I mean, that's not your original handwriting.
No,
there,
no,
is
it is not. It's a copy.
Can you look at it and tell me if it's accurate? I mean, in other words, is it the document that you prepared? When I say is it accurate, I mean, is that the document you prepared?
Yes, sir. It does appear to be my handwriting. Yes, sir.
Tender states too at this time, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
And if I could have just a second, Your Honor, to speak with Mr. Campbell. All right, Chief Lewis, I'm going to show you a thumb drive, a USB drive that is marked as State's Exhibit 3. There's a little sticker on the other side that says GSW Oaks Dorm Videos 113-14-2024. Have you seen this before?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay, and what was the occasion? How is it that came to be in your hands to see it?
Right. For the DA brought it over to me yesterday, and I was able to view it again for the second time.
Okay. And, Your Honor, for the sake of the record, what I will advise the court at this time is that that is a USB drive that I actually prepared from the USB drive which was provided by GSW. And but it doesn't include as much as the original one did. This includes what is shown on that timeline, items 6 through 12 of the timeline, which covers the time frame from Saturday night, the 13th, at about 10 p.m. to Sunday afternoon. Did I say that correctly?
That is correct. 22:06 to be exact. 10:06 p.m.
10:06 is the time of the first video that's on there?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. And so you reviewed that and made sure that I copied the videos that you had given us, or that you had given the GBI, correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
And are they all the ones that, not all of them, but the ones that I said are on there, are they on there?
They are on there, yes.
Okay. With Tender States 3 at this time, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor. I'm aware that some that originally were on there or not, but they were irrelevant things that didn't pertain to this case, so I have no objection.
Okay, admitted without objection.
Also,
Or the video is admitted without objection.
also, you know, we're just coming off of the Idaho 4. We just had, you know, that case resolved. You know, he pled guilty. It's resolved. Do we still have questions? Sure. But I think this is interesting. And another interesting aspect to this case is that it occurred on a college campus. And so we're seeing how other campuses handle crime and how their police departments handle it, which I think is an interesting aspect. Now, yes, the GSW Police Department would be the one that has jurisdiction over this case. However, they realized immediately that this was not something that they could really investigate adequately. They were not, you know, they're not prepared to investigate something like this. So the actual investigation took place by the GBI. But you know, in the initial, you know, they were in charge of securing the scene and all of that. And to me, what I can see thus far, it sounds like they have they handled this case correctly. They've done what they were supposed to do. They secured the scene. They documented the scene until they were relieved by the GBI, and the GBI is the one who actually did the collection of evidence and stuff like that. But I think that's really important, mainly because the defense attorney has been saying from the very beginning that the GBI mishandled this investigation. So I'm quite curious as to how he is going to. I will tell you one thing he says. So one of the ways that he feels this investigation was not handled properly is that there were diapers. And in one of the diapers, there was a number 2. And the defense maintains that inside of the fecal matter was blood, and yet it was not tested. And because it was not tested to see if it was blood, they can't determine whether or not that there was some other underlying issue that this child might have had, which caused him to fall, which escalated the injury to make it appear as if it was blunt force trauma when in fact it was an accident. So that's essentially what one of the things that he is using as reasonable doubt. I don't think the jury is going to be dissuaded, especially after today's testimony with the text messages. I think it's going to be, I think they're going to convict her, but let's keep going. Let's see this video and then we'll skip ahead because I really want to get to the father's testimony.
Judge, I'm going to give that back to Chief Lewis and just play it to the jury this time, if that's okay. You hold on to that. Yeah, I need this. You hold on to that.
Okay.
And
Well, basically, Tosh, they are they're really pointing the finger at the father. And that
computer will recognize the USB drive.
basically he
Then I'm gonna play it for the jury.
wasn't a great father,
There it is.
and that
So what is going to
he
be
was
the first
neglectful.
entry on here? What's the first thing they're going to see?
and that
Oh, the first thing that you're going to see on the
and that this what happened and that he could have beat the child. It's kind of, I mean, that's what I gather from the way that they're from the cross-examination that's taken place. But what they end up doing with that strategy, whether or not they actually put on a defense, remains to be seen, obviously. And I'm curious if they are or not.
10:06 p.m. should be Miss Poe, Mr. Williams, and baby Jaxton actually about to enter onto the hallway where Miss Trinity Poe actually resides at in Oaks 2.
Okay. So I'm going to put it up on the screen now. Okay.
Oh, you're welcome, Tosh. That's my job. That's what y'all come here for. If you ask me a question, for me to answer. So you're welcome, babe. Thanks for being here.
All right. So the time that is shown here, and I stopped it 1 second in, but the time that's shown here, or the date, is what?
January
What's the
13th. January the 13th should be what should be displayed.
Okay. And then the time stamp that's on there is what time?
Should be 10 p.m. which would be 22:06 is kind of how we did it. It was military time, but yes, 10:06 p.m.
10:06 and 19 seconds after, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay, and I'm going to at this time, Your Honor, I'm going to play this clip, which is very brief. Okay. Now, the two people that are shown in this clip, or three people, I'm sorry, do you actually know who they are?
At this time, yes, sir.
At this time, I mean, do you know who they are?
I do. Yes.
Okay. Who are they?
Miss Trinity Poe, Mr. Williams, and baby Jaxton.
Okay. And who's holding the baby?
Miss Trinity Poe.
All right. Okay. So 10:06, they come in to the dorm. All right. Then there is a second clip. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And what does the second clip show? It actually encompasses two pieces of video. Is that right?
Well, still should be January 13th. Should just be Mr. Williams coming off of the hallway alone.
Okay. That's what's designated as item 7 on the timeline, right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay. And then item 8 is what?
Mr. Williams returning onto the hallway.
Okay. All right. And at this time, Your Honor, I'm going to play that section. Okay. So the time that he enters the hallway is 10, or comes out of that door is 10:29:28, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. And then when it shows him going back in. The video skips forward, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And what time does it skip forward to?
10:30 p.m.
10:30 and what, 35 seconds?
That's correct, 35.
Right.
Yes.
And that is Mr. Williams again, correct?
Yes, sir. That is correct.
All right. The next video segment on this thumb drive shows what?
That should be on number 9. Would it be January the 14th on that Sunday?
Okay.
And it's going to show Mr. Williams leaving the hallway alone with what appears to be 2 trash bags in his hands.
Okay. And that, in what time is that going to?
11:55, 58 p.m.
All right.
Sorry, a.m. I apologize, a.m.
This is how they know that he was not involved.
Oh, wait a minute. There it is. Okay. We'll back it up to the start there. Okay. 10:20.
You're on the same
29.
file, bro. What are you doing?
It should be on the 14th.
Oh, that's the same one that we were looking at.
Yes,
Hold on.
that is the same one that
Close
we were looking at. Yes, sir. Come on now.
Okay.
You want me to go over there and share screen?
And this shows Mr. Williams coming through that door at what time?
I got him at 11:55, 58 a.m.
Okay.
on that Sunday, January 14th.
All right.
This is when he leaves to go pick up Pizza Hut and goes to
He's
Walmart
carrying
to
some
get
trash bags, correct?
Yes, sir.
Then
hang on.
did you
Drinks.
watch the video to determine the next time that Mr. Williams was back on that floor or back on,
Hang
on
on
that
a minute.
hallway?
Yes,
I
sir.
want
That's
to.
correct.
Okay. And how long was it until he
on
returned
a
to that
second.
hallway?
What the hell?
It's
Come on.
about 30.
Let me go back a few seconds. See, because the defense they don't come outright and say it directly. They make sort of like a sideways jab about this trash. And I can now because I was just listening. I was working on I was going to make a Christmas intro, but it got like, I don't know, I couldn't do what I wanted to do and it was irritating me. So I was like, you know what, I'm not going to spend any more time on this. Let me just move on. Sometimes that's a new thing. That's a developing skill. Before I would have stuck and tried to figure it out and just, wasted a bunch of time and then been mad. But look at me evolving, new year, new me, growing, being mature. And I was like, you know what, I can't. Anyway, so I wasn't looking at the TV whenever he was taking out the trash. But I mean, there's 2 people here at my house. And granted, we don't have a baby that it needs diapers, but that seems like a lot of trash. I mean, but to be fair, I don't know how many days worth of trash that is. But they did try to make something out of this. And now I can kind of sort of see why, but I also think it's a big nothing burger. But let's keep going.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then did you watch the video to determine the next time that Mr. Williams was back on that floor or back on that hallway?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. And how long was it until he returned to that hallway?
It was like about 32 minutes.
32 minutes.
What time did he return to the hallway?
He came back at 12:30.10 a.m. Well, p.m. 10:30 p.m. 12:30 p.m. I apologize.
Right. And so, Your Honor, I'm playing that at this time, and that shows Mr. Williams coming at 12:30:10, correct?
12:30, correct. I'm returning onto the hallway with what appears to be a pizza bag and other bags in his hand.
Okay. And so he goes down.
Exactly,
the
Jen.
door
Good line.
closes,
That's what I
right?
said. It
And
could
then
have been.
What time does he reappear in this video?
It could have been her and her roomie's trash for a whole week, and just he took it out just to be nice. I just wanted to see, because I remember that part of the testimony when he was testifying, and I was like, oh, let me pay attention now. Look at my brain just doing all the things.
12:30, 27 seconds p.m. So that's about a month.
12:31, 27?
That's correct, yeah.
12:31, 127. So approximately a minute and 17 seconds later.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Also,
and I'm going to play that segment at this.
Mr. Prosecutor, you got to let your dadgum witness answer the question. I feel like these witnesses get all jumbled up because bless his heart, the prosecutor gets all jumbled up. And listen, now I know my brain works way faster than my mouth does sometimes, and I buffer. I know this about myself, so I'm not trying to be like a jerk about it, but I feel like he gets them all jumbled up. Like, just take a breath, bro. Calm down. Chill your beans, as Bluey says. Yeah. I know all the things Bluey says. I don't want to talk about it. Let's keep going.
At this time, Judge, it's on the same track on this USB, but I'm going to play that segment now. And
KD.
is he? Can you tell what he's doing when he
Now
comes to
he's
that door?
panicked.
Yes, sir. He's actually has his child in his arms,
Okay.
which believes to be baby Jax.
It's so
Jaxton.
slow.
And he goes out that door
Slow it down.
at 12:31.
31.
Okay. And
Oh,
then
God.
there's a third segment on this same video file. Is that correct? That shows someone else leaving.
Yes.
Okay. What is the next segment on the video?
The next segment would be at 12:36, 40 p.m. and Miss Trinity Poe leaves off the hallway.
Okay. And I'm going to play that segment this time, Your Honor. And that's 12:36:42. Correct.
Look at her.
42,
She
correct,
ain't
yes.
got a care in the damn world.
And it's back to the beginning.
All right. Hold on.
Were there other entrances?
All right. Let's see him go out.
He returned to that hallway.
13
10, correct?
All right. Now I want to see him bring the baby
The door
out.
closes.
month.
12:30. Same track on this USB, but I'm going to play that segment now.
Hold on. Let me slow this down. And mute it, because otherwise it'll be crazy. Let's see. Let's slow this down a little bit. Let's try it half speed. See how this looks. You can't see anything. Okay. But he's freaked out. All right. Now let's see her come out. He looks like he's got a place to be. She looks like she ain't got a care in the world. Wow, that poor baby. 18 months old. I can't see anything. I mean, I could slow it down even more, but I feel like it would just get really pixelated.
One.
31.
Why is this doing this? That's not what I wanted it to do. Stop. All right. And here she comes on her phone.
And that's 12:36.
She ain't got no rush about her. All right, let me put it back.
42, correct, yes.
Okay.
Huh.
And it's back to the beginning. Okay.
Okay.
Were there other entrances or exits by either of those two people to that dormitory on January 14th?
No, sir, it was not.
And you know that because you reviewed all the video, right?
That is correct, yes.
I think that may be all I have at this time, Your Honor, with
At
Chief
this
Williams.
time.
Just-
Oh, and that was another argument that the defense made for the father not to be able to sit through trial. The defense has him as a witness as well. So, all right.
No further questions this time, sir.
Can they have, I forget who this is.
I'm doing well, doing well.
Good. I've got a couple questions for you, and I don't know, you may not know this.
I'm a special agent, and my job title is a crime scene specialist.
Okay, this is the GBI crime scene analyst. All right. He's the one that collected the evidence.
I'm a special agent, and my job title is a crime scene specialist.
What is a crime scene specialist?
Primarily, what I do on a day-to-day basis is process crime scenes and deal with evidence related to crime scenes.
So Katie says, oh, OMG, I've dropped comments in here and in MJ's chats that were supposed to be text to other people. So embarrassing. Their screens don't even look the same, but I still have things up. Listen, don't worry about it, Katie. I don't upload my live chat replay, so nobody even sees it. They might see it in the moment when it happens, but it's not there for all time. Don't you worry. See, because I'm a big believer in what happens at the ward stays at the ward. It's gone.
Do you have any specialized training?
Yeah, I'm sure he has tons of training, blah, 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 blah,
So there
blah.
was that, which was classes over these.
I don't care
I've
about
also been somebody with
getting to know him or his LinkedIn.
record.
Items and an expert. 24. Did you have occasion
There we go.
to be sent to a location on the Georgia Southwestern State University campus?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And how did you become involved in the investigation of that case that day?
So I was notified that there was a case on the campus involving a dead baby, a baby death case, and I was asked to come and investigate the crime scene there on campus. So I came to Americus, and that was my intentions.
Where did you go?
Also, I just wanted to point this out too, just because I need to make commentary for fair use. But I was thinking about this today while I was in the shower. You know, see how she's sitting there with her head down and whatnot. I wonder what advice you can give as an attorney, right, to a defendant, especially in this type of a case. Because if they tell her don't react, right, then the jury might take it, you know, she comes across as cold, uncaring, lack of remorse, right? However, if she's crying, think Donna Adelson, you know, the oh my God, you know, all that, right? It's extra and unnecessary, and that works negatively too. So that's what I was thinking about today, what advice her attorney may have given her. My advice would be to get some different nails. Those don't look good.
Anywhere else besides campus?
Before I came to the campus, I went to the hospital and photographed the victim at the hospital first.
In photographing the victim, did you notice whether or not there were any external wounds, open wounds from which the victim was bleeding?
No, there was some medical intervention that was still attached to the baby, and there was some bruising, some, I guess you would say, light bruising. It was difficult to tell, you know, but nothing that stood out. There was no blood, nothing really that stood out. There was a couple bruises that I photographed.
Yeah. But you didn't. But there was no external bleeding that you
No,
observed.
no.
I mean, I understand you're not a doctor and didn't do internal examination or whatever,
Right,
but there
right,
was no external bleeding.
No, no.
Okay. After you took photographs of the victim at the hospital, did you go to campus, to the GSW campus?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And when you got there, where did you go?
Before I went inside to the dorm room, I went to the dumpster area at the dorm rooms.
Okay. And why did you go to the dumpsters when you got to campus?
In the briefing of trying to figure out what I was supposed to be looking for at the scene, it had been reported to me that somebody had come from the building and gone to the dumpsters and thrown something in the dumpster. So I went to look in the dumpster to see if there was anything of evidentiary value in the dumpster before I went inside.
Is that something that you would ordinarily do if you're advised that that someone who had been at the location that you were going to investigate?
I try,
if
boss
you're advised
lady.
that someone at that location
I try to
had
provide
gone and
this
put something in a
as
dumpster,
safe
that's
as a
something you
safe place on the
ordinarily do
internet can
yourself?
be, you know.
If there's reason to believe, well, you mean as far as doing that first?
Yeah.
Or
Would you go to the dumpster, whether you went there first or
Right.
second? I mean, would you?
Oh,
would
for
you-
the love of
is
Pete.
that
The
one
way
of the
this
things
guy
that you would cover, one of the
questioned.
areas you would cover?
Right. Well, in investigating this case, just like any other case, I'm looking for anything that could have caused death to the child, or anything that could help us paint the picture of what happened. And so if I knew somebody was going to the dumpster, then that's a natural thing to do, is to look and see if there's anything in there that stands out.
Okay. And when you went to the dumpster, did you identify any items that you thought were of significance to be collected?
There were-
Collect any evidence?
To collect any evidence?
Yes.
No.
Okay. What did you do when you were at the dumpster?
So there was two dumpsters there. There was one on the right that was completely full of trash. The one on the left was not completely full of trash. So my thought was, if you're going to throw trash in there, you would throw it in the one that has less in it, where you can fit the bags in. So I looked in the one with less trash, and there was two white trash bags on top. I pulled those out to see what was in them, and in one of them there was some food trash, like I think it was from Zaxby's, from a restaurant. And in that, there was a name on the receipt, where when you go and you order food and you tell them your name. And the name on the receipt said Trinity. And I knew that the person's dorm room that we were at, her name was Trinity. So naturally, I went through that bag and photographed the items that were in that bag. There was a similar bag, same material, same color, same drawstring, had similar trash in it. And I took that trash out, and I say trash, I took the items out of it and photographed the items. There was nothing of significance that I knew of at the time, based on what I knew about the case, that would help me tell the story of what happened. So I photographed the items and put them back in the trash.
And there we
Why
go.
would you photograph the items if you weren't going to collect them or preserve them in some way?
Well, I mean, first off, one of the things that we teach is a photographic record is preserving evidence, because by photographing it, now I know what was in that bag. So it does two things. It tells us what was in the trash bags, but it also tells us what was not in the trash bags. So, if somebody was to come back and say there was a gun in there, well, no, there wasn't, because I photographed the items that were in the bag.
So how
In
I
the
don't
process of doing
hold
that, did you?
I mean, what is this gentleman? They say, the defense's argument is this was a botched investigation. It was bungled. It doesn't sound too bungled to me. And also, Allie, what are you OMGing over there, babe? Spicy Amy. What you doing?
See any dirty diapers in the trash?
I did.
Okay. Did you examine those?
I did.
And when you examined those, did you? What did you find? What did you find when you examined the diapers?
Yeah, one of the trash bags had a diaper in it that had like a Mickey Mouse print on the diaper itself. I opened it up, appeared to have what looked like urine in the diaper. In another one of the trash bags, it had 3 diapers in it that were wadded up. I opened those. 2 of them had urine and 1 of them had feces in it. So I photographed the diapers and, along with the other items, put them back in the trash.
When you saw the diaper that had feces in it, did you see or have any reason to believe that you might be seeing any other?
Allie said, LOL, just the way he said, I got a call for a dead baby. I was like, whoa, harsh. Then he corrected himself. LOL, no big deal. Yes. When he said it in the moment, it hit my ears wrong too. And, yeah, I was like, whoa, bro. And then I started thinking then my brain went somewhere else about how, I notice that frequently when we watch trials and crime scene investigators testify, how they're just the substance of their testimony is dry anyway, but the way that they testify is very dry, very detached. And I was thinking to myself, that they must have to be that way because of what their job is. You have to take, you have to compartmentalize in order for you to be able to do that job, because I would imagine they come across some horrendous stuff.
There's substance in that diaper?
No, I didn't see anything other than feces.
See any blood?
No.
Do you think you would have recognized it if there had been blood in that diaper, blood in the feces, or blood in the diaper itself?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you ever been in a position that you observed such a thing, blood in feces, or?
Not in a baby case, but I have worked death investigations that ended up being natural deaths. Usually it's a medical problem where somebody is vomiting blood and blood coming out their bottom, and there's stuff in the house. There's feces in the house that's got blood mixed with it, and so I have seen that before. And the feces that was in these diapers just looked like a baby diaper with feces in it.
If you had thought that there was any possibility that there was blood in the diaper, what actions, if any, would you have taken?
If I thought that it could have helped in the case, I would have collected it. That being said, I don't know everything that our lab can test, and I don't know everything that other labs can test. But in my experience, in other cases, like I know our lab will not test feces for like DNA or anything like that. So I don't know what testing could have been done with it, but I didn't see anything that we could do with it other than collect it. Sometimes we collect things just to hold on to it. But even if I'd collected it, I don't know what testing could have been done to it.
I don't know what testing could have been done to it either, not in a lab, not in a crime lab setting. Certainly in the in a medical setting, a medical laboratory setting, obviously they handle all types of biological fluids and matter, including feces, for testing. I mean, I see commercials at least twice when I watch Hulu about how there's a test, you can take for colon cancer that they will mail you the box, they will mail you the instructions, they will mail you a collection, and you just deposit your sample into whatever it is that they give you. You send it off and they analyze it and they tell you if your risk or if you're positive or negative. So in a medical sense, yes, but I don't know what they could do with that, what they could do forensically with that diaper. And I think that I know that there was an autopsy performed on the child, and when autopsies are performed on anybody, they're not only looking for, injury that was, for example, like a gunshot wound or blunt force trauma. They also look for disease processes. So they do testing. So, oh Lord, that was unfortunate timing for that. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. I don't understand why this defense attorney is going to make such a big deal about the poopy diaper.
Well, why wouldn't you collect every single piece of every item that you observe or that you run across or that you see that might possibly be related to the case in some way, and worry about whether it matters or not later? Why wouldn't you just collect everything?
So in a perfect world, we would just take the entire dumpster and bring it back and keep it forever. In every other case that I investigate, we would just box up the entire house and take it with us. Unfortunately, we can't do that. That's not practical. So we have to try to determine what's important in the case. And I do, a lot of times I will find something that it may not mean anything to me at the time, but I know that it stands out and it may mean something later, so it gets collected. So there's lots of times in our evidence room, there's things that you look back a year or two later and you wonder why we still have that, because it's not evidentiary. But I try to err on the side of caution, but like in this case, 4 dirty diapers just didn't seem like something that needed to be collected in the case.
Did you collect anything out of that trash can?
No, sir, I just photographed.
Okay. So when you photograph something, do you, as a GBI crime scene specialist, do you assign each item that you photograph a photographic exhibit number?
I don't. When it comes out of the camera, it's got a number associated with it.
Well, what's the number that's associated with it when it comes out of the camera? What is that number? What does it represent?
The camera numbers the photographs in sequence, so each one of them has a different file name.
It's a file name, right?
Right.
It's a file name, or whatever, 123.jpg.
That's correct.
234.jpg, right?
Correct.
Okay. Did you do anything
Attorney, I swear.
in this case
JPEG.
that was intended to demarcate or preserve the diapers as an evidentiary matter in terms of giving it a special label, a special exhibit number, or did you just take pictures of them when you took pictures of everything else?
Right, I just photographed them.
Okay. Is
Documented
part of your
evidence.
training designed to help you make those decisions as to whether or not in any given case and any given item may or may not be of evidentiary value?
Sure. Based on, I hate to use the phrase, but knowledge, training, and experience, my knowledge tells me when something looks out of place and to take that. My training tells me how to preserve that, for a case. And my experience going to lots and lots of crime scenes, there's things that somebody else may not see as evidentiary, or they may not think that it would mean something in the case, and based on the cases that I've worked, I may recognize that it could possibly mean something. And I take all of those three into account and try to determine what I need to take back and what doesn't need to go back. Because like I said, in a perfect world, we would take everything, but that's just not practical to take everything.
Is it fair to say that making those judgments and making those decisions is sort of part and parcel of your job?
Yes.
After you examined the items in the dumpster outside this dormitory on the GSW campus, did you go inside?
Yes, sir, I did.
And when you went inside, where did you go?
It was room 158, I believe it was.
Okay. I'm going to show you I tell you what, I'm going to...
Hey, Jen, good to see you. Or Jennifer, good to see you. Sorry, I forgot that you like to be called Jennifer.
I'm going to hand you the stack of photographs.
How's
Then I'm going to send you
hold on.
to look them over, and then we'll...
Bless it. This attorney is quite fractious, to use Sarah Boone. She's got another letter. I need to go over that with you guys too. But I want to say hi to Jennifer and ask how my friend Jonah is doing. Jonah, can you hear me? I'd like to say hello.
I'll have a few questions about each one individually.
Sure.
That, okay. Once you've had a chance to look at it.
All right, hang on. Let's see if they're going to let... here we
I hand
go.
you a series of photographs that are marked.
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And did you then open the bags?
I did.
Okay. And is that what is shown in States 16?
Yes, sir, it is.
Now, did you collect the items that were in the bag?
Yikes,
No, sir.
camera. Okay.
You simply opened the bag.
That's correct.
Look here. Now, I don't want to tell nobody how to do their job. Okay. But between Mr. Prosecutor Man being all over the place, and now the cameraman with the quick zoom and the, Blair Witching us on the damn camera, this is too much. Come on now. That is a shitload of soda. Wow. This got quite a bit of this raised some eyebrows in the chat over at Law and Crime, because so when the baby woke up at like 9:30 or 10 Sunday morning, there wasn't food. And so they gave him, I think, Fritos and Mountain Dew. And then at, like right before noon is when he left to go get pizza and soda. And there were quite a lot of people in the chat who were like, they were very critical of the baby's diet. And I understood it, but I also have this to say. We're talking about like an 18 and 21-year-old kid. Okay. The dad's like 21. I know she was 18 when this happened. You know, I was an 18-year-old parent as well. I didn't give my kids soda, not at 18 months for sure. I don't. I am. It does make me sad that I don't see like water or juice or anything like healthy or nutritious. Yeah. But I'm not going to rake this dad over the coals for it because it's not, you know, just not going to do it.
Did you take another photograph, though, at the point after you opened this bag? Did you think?
I think I photographed the receipt, more close up of the receipt after that.
And I'm going to show you what's been admitted as states 17. Is that the photograph you're referring to?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. And that Walmart receipt, if you can read it from there, can you tell the date and time showing, you know, that receipt was printed?
January 14th, 2024 at 12:14 p.m.
Yeah. Was there anything about that?
You know what, Kimberly? Ask sidebar. Let me do it right. Sidebar. Has anyone seen the documentary that 50 Cent put out about P. Diddy? I have not. But I do intend to watch it at some point. Is it good? Have you seen it? I prefer the classic Cheez-Its myself. I just like the original ones. Don't give me the toasty crap. Just the way that the original recipe Cheez-Its. That's what I like.
Receipt that you thought was significant?
Not with what may have happened to the child. It was just evidence that somebody had been at Walmart at that date and time and bought those items.
Okay.
So it may help tell the story of whoever was there at Walmart. But in my opinion, it didn't tell the story of what happened to the child while that person was at Walmart.
Even though that receipt might be important for the purpose of showing that someone had left that room and gone to Walmart, or, well, maybe not left that room, but that someone had come to that room from Walmart, other than that, was there anything of evidentiary significance about it?
Not that I remember.
Okay. So did you collect it for analysis in some way?
I did not.
You said that there was also photographs of a pizza box somewhere in the room. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
I want to show you states 18, and if you can tell me what is shown in states 18. There it is.
This was when you come into the room, looking slightly to the left, the little piece of furniture with the pastel colors with the drawers that was at the foot of the bed, and the right-hand side of the photograph is the foot of the bed, and there's a Pizza Hut box on top of the bed.
And then if you take another picture at some point of the box itself.
Yes, sir, I did.
Is that what's shown in states 19?
Yes, sir.
And was there any reason to collect the item?
No, sir.
Simply wanted to document that it was there.
Correct.
Was there any item at the scene, in the dumpsters, at the hospital, any other location that you attended, was there any item that, in your judgment, was an item of evidentiary significance that you simply ignored or did not collect?
No, sir.
Nothing further of this witness at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Cross-examination? Yes, sir. Recess so everybody can get comfortable. Use the restroom if you need to, and we'll come right back in at 2 o'clock. All right. I'm going to do the same.
You know, one thing that I will say for to this attorney's benefit is that he knows a little bit about what the
Put it back in the dumpster. Okay. So did you
he knows a little bit about what the defense intends to do, and so as far as questioning the witness, and so he's getting ahead of that, and yeah. Oh no, Jennifer, you can absolutely have Cheez-Its. Absolutely. My son-in-law is a diabetic and he can have Cheez-Its. Hey Brandy, good to see you. I forgot what I was going to say. So I think it's smart of him to get ahead of these things. All right, let's see what he has to say.
ever take possession of them in the sense of bagging and tagging them and quote, taking them into evidence?
No, sir.
And when you made the decision that the dirty diaper did not have evidentiary value because there was no apparent blood or anything else to it, when you made that decision, were you anticipating that someday someone might make a motion to test the item which you never collected?
No. If I thought that there was any reason to ever test it, I would have collected it.
You would have collected it. Even if you didn't think that necessarily that we needed to test it, if you thought that it might be worthy of testing, would you collect it?
Right. I mean, contrary to what some believe, I mean, we don't work for the prosecution or the defense. We work to try to figure out what happened. And if I thought that it could answer some questions about the scene, I would have collected it.
Nothing further.
Hey, Jaxton, I'm T. Gamble. I represent Ms. Poague. How are you today?
Doing well.
Now, you said you don't work for the prosecution, correct?
That's correct.
And you testified in court 20 times or more as an expert, correct?
Yes.
Tell me how many times you testified as an expert for the defense.
I've been called once or twice, and they never actually have me in court.
So you've never testified on behalf of a criminal defendant in a courtroom, correct?
That's correct.
Now, as the special agent that is here doing the crime scene workup, I guess I would call it, you were called to the scene. Were you given some background information about the case before you got there?
Yes, sir.
You knew it involved a child that was a year and a half old that had been had some traumatizing injuries, correct?
Yes, sir.
I think you've already testified that you actually went to the hospital and took some photographs of the child, correct?
Yes, I did.
And I think you said earlier that it had some slight bruising, correct?
Yes, sir.
And would it be fair to state that on the torso of the child, from the neck to down to his hips, in that area, if you were just visually looking at it, you wouldn't see any real injuries, correct?
No, in fact, the two injuries that I noted in my paperwork was there was a small bruise on, I think it was the left cheek, and there was what appeared to be maybe a bruise on, I think it was the right side of the head, but the hair covered it up and it was difficult to see.
Well, it's fair to say that even the bruising that you saw was in that slight range that you described when you testified on direct, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so just in viewing the child without knowing anything else at that time, it wouldn't necessarily make you determine or think that severe injuries had happened to the child, correct?
I mean, other than the fact that the child was no longer living, and me not being a medical doctor, I was unaware of what could have caused the death. I mean, nothing stood out. Like, obviously, you go to a shooting scene and there's holes in the victim. None of that was there. So, I mean, I didn't know what could have caused the death.
But you have been to scenes where people have been beaten to death, have you not?
Yes.
And you've been able to see noticeable marks on them that would let you know as soon as you looked at that person that, boy, that person had been beaten, correct?
Absolutely.
And you weren't looking at something like that just when you knew the child was not alive, so something had happened.
That's
but
correct.
There was nothing to view to alarm you into that range of just visualizing, was it?
Right. Based on my experience, there was nothing that I could see that stood out that would have obviously caused the death of the child, no.
Now, you went to the
Tosh, I don't understand your question, babe. How far along was the defendant when this occurred? I know that when she was 18 years old, I think the father was 21, and the baby was 18 months. Boss Lady says, mine used to try to weasel cookies and caffeine drinks. Nope, nope, nope. I'm the meanest Mimi. I am not the meanest Granny, but the Nuggie, too much sugar gets her to be too turnt Tina. And that's all I have to say is to her is no, because then you get too turnt Tina. And she'll say to me, Granny, I won't be too turnt Tina. I'm like, yes, you will. Every time I give you sugar, you're too turnt Tina, and I don't want to get in trouble. So I can't give it to you.
The dorm room, because I assume that the investigators or the rest of the people with the GBI had told you they believe that might be where the crime scene was, correct?
Yes, that's where the child came from. So that's.
Did they tell you they believe that was where the incident occurred when the child got harmed?
From my understanding, when I went, we didn't have any indication of where the child had been harmed, but that was where the child was taken from. So it was my job to go and document the scene as we found it.
And so when you went to that scene as a crime scene specialist, you wanted to collect any evidence that you felt like it had any bearing whatsoever on this case, correct?
Anything that could have told the story of what may have harmed the child.
Yes. So one thing that you'd look for is to see if there was any type of item that might have been used as a weapon to harm the child, correct?
Sure.
And in taking evidence in and photographing, you didn't find anything in that dorm room that you believe would have been used as an instrument to harm the child, did you?
No, and like in this kind of case, anything can be used as a weapon, but nothing stood out as like a weapon that was used. And that was one of the reasons I looked in the trash bags too, was to see if something was in there that, maybe somebody threw out to get out of the room, because we see that in criminal cases where somebody will dispose of something. And I didn't see anything in the trash bags, and I didn't see anything in the room, no.
So you didn't see anything like a paddle or a baseball bat or something that would be used to hit somebody, correct?
No, sir.
And in looking through the room, you didn't find any blood evidence anywhere in the whole dorm, did you?
No, sir, I didn't.
And you didn't find any bodily fluid evidence anywhere in the dorm room either, did you?
Just that stuff that was on the carpet that was right outside that looked like it may have been vomit or something. I'm not sure what it was. It was not blood, I know that. But it could have been vomit, I'm not sure.
And that's the problem you have with that is that was not tested, correct?
Correct.
So there's no way for you to say with any certainty what the substance was on that mat, correct?
That's correct.
And so that's just pure speculation of whatever it might be, right?
Right. I have test kits for like blood, and I can test it to see if it is blood, but there's no test kit for vomit.
Well, there's certainly test kits that do exist, or tests that do exist that could determine whether or not that was a fluid from a human being if it was done correctly, correct?
You'd have to specify the fluid from the human being.
Well, if you tested that substance that was on that carpet and you asked someone, a lab, to test it for DNA, could they do that?
Probably not.
You do not think it could be tested for DNA?
You can test it, but you don't get a result from stomach contents. You don't get a DNA result from stomach contents. That's why you also don't get it from feces. So if we send feces to the lab for DNA, they send it back to us because it's typically not in the feces.
Well, you stated you didn't take it in to test for whatever reason. You don't know for sure what the substance is, but we do know one thing. The rug that you looked at was left there in the dorm when you got through, was it not?
Yes, sir.
And you were asking questions about the chair and whether or not you took it into evidence and did you take it in and test it or anything, and you said no, correct?
Correct.
But at the same time, that chair was still left at the dorm, was it not?
That's correct.
And you were asked about various other items that why didn't you take them in, or you could have taken them in, such as the items of cola that were on the table and those type things. You still just left them there at the dorm, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Now, the one difference between all of those items and the dirty diapers that you were asked about is that those dirty diapers have now been disposed of and we don't know where they're at, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, these other items, if there was some testing needed to be done or some reason to bring them in the courtroom for all practical reasons, we could still bring them in here and let the jury see them or test them.
Oh, for the love of Pete. This is a very weak argument. I don't, Tasha, I agree with you. I don't understand this. Now, just so you know, she is not this child's biological mother. She and Julian had been together since I think JD was like 6 months old. I know that his father is going to testify that she didn't meet JD until JD was a year old. So but wait till you hear his testimony and the stories that he tells.
Do whatever it is, correct?
To be fair, I don't know what happened to any of the other items in that dorm room.
Well, obviously, someone could have thrown them away after you left, correct?
Correct.
But as far as Trinity Poague, it's her room. If she wanted to preserve those items after you got through, she would have been able to gather them up and take them with her, correct?
Correct.
So if she wanted to bring that pink chair in this courtroom to show its height, she'd be able to do that, wouldn't she?
Yes.
The 40-inch bed, she would be able to bring it in, I guess, if she really wanted to, correct?
Sure.
Or show a picture of her measuring or whatever, right?
Sure.
But at the same time, you have to acknowledge when it comes to these diapers, they're gone, right?
Yes.
I mean, you didn't throw them away physically and burn them, but you left them in a dumpster and then they were picked up and taken off to the trash dump at some point, correct?
That's correct.
They're long gone.
Sure.
And you did know at the time that you looked at these diapers that at sometimes there can be blood in fecal matter, didn't you?
There can be.
I mean, you've testified in some of your investigations. You've done that where there was blood found in a human being from sickness or illness, and that was available, correct?
Yes.
And there are tests to.
I mean, yes, I understand the defense attorney. I get what his job is, but this is really ridiculous and unnecessary. The child had an autopsy. Part of an autopsy is disease process. So, for example, if the child had, because you can have blood in fecal matter for many different reasons. And it can be because you have a fissure on, in that area. It can be coming from higher up. You could have some issue with your intestines, all the way through your digestive tract. But again, those things, a disease process that would cause bleeding in fecal matter would be present at an autopsy. The diaper would not be necessary. They don't need that. So he's going to make this big, huge deal about this diaper and these diapers being thrown away.
Actually check to see if there's blood in fecal matter. A hemoccult test can be done to test for blood in fecal matter, can it?
I'm not aware of it, but I mean, maybe it can.
You don't doubt that there's some test available to do that, do you?
I mean, if I saw something in there that looked like blood, I could have tested it with the test kits that I have in my truck. But I didn't see anything that appeared to be even remotely close to blood.
Well, I'm going to hand you what I've marked first as plaintiff's defendant's exhibit number 1.
Sure.
And I've already given a copy to the district attorney now. May I approach? Yes, sir. Hey, yes, that's one of the photographs you took of the diapers that you found within the dumpster.
Yes, sir.
And that's the threesome you talked about, the 3 diapers that you found in one area.
Right. There was these 3 were in one trash bag, and there was a single one in another trash bag.
So those are the 3 that were together, correct?
Yes.
Now those 3 pictures show a diaper that's together you can't tell what the contents are, correct?
Correct.
So that's how you originally found it.
That's correct.
But that is an accurate depiction of what you saw in photograph that day?
Yes, sir.
And is that those diapers the ones that were thrown back into the garbage dumpster and are now gone?
Yes, sir.
I'd move for defendant's exhibit 1 to be introduced into evidence.
Any objection to exhibit 1?
No, sir.
Thank you, Tosh, for becoming a member. I appreciate that. Welcome to the ward.
I thought it was submitted yesterday, actually.
Well, it was in our hearing, but I don't know if that qualifies.
That's right. It was not.
All right, so
No
it's-
objection.
It's admitted without objection.
Oh, for the love of
You show that, please.
Right, boss lady. This guy would have known if he saw blood evidence on anything. This was not his first day on the job. It wasn't his first hour on the job. Come on, bro. This is why I'm interested to see if they put up an actual defense. Also, that
So
mark
that
that's on the
photo
wall
I'm showing you
behind
is
all the
different.
witnesses
Yes, it
is
is.
driving me absolutely nuts.
It just disappeared on me.
Jennifer. I keep wanting to call you Jen because I go by Jen. Sorry. Jennifer, I'm sorry, babe. Are we going to see this dadgum poopy diaper? Let's go. I think it'll be held in no time, Jennifer.
Do what?
Unplug the HDMI cord, plug it back into the reset.
Oh, thank you, because it's going to be so hard for me to call you Jennifer. Thanks, babe. How's Jonah?
Okay. So again, that's the photograph of the 3 diapers that you took
Yeah.
in before they were opened up.
Yes, sir.
Right. Can we see
Now,
it?
after you took that photograph, I'm gonna hand you what I've marked as defendant's exhibit number 2.
4 hours later, the
Yes,
damn
ma'am. Copy that.
cameraman.
Does that depict, are you familiar with that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Is that a photograph you also took?
Yes, sir.
And it depicts the diapers after they've been opened up, correct?
Yes, sir, it does.
And I believe you testified 2 of them looked like they had some type of urine in them, correct?
Right.
But the 3rd diaper seems to have dark substance that appears to be fecal matter, correct?
Yes, sir.
And would you agree with me that it has a dark brown reddish color to it?
I don't see a reddish color. I see brown.
Would you agree with me that that is a coloration that does not appear to be normal for fecal matter?
No.
You don't find that to be in any way suspect that it possibly could have blood in it?
No.
Now, do you agree with me, though, if you took it in and had it tested, you could positively determine whether or not it had blood in it?
Based on the testing that you recommended, maybe so. Like I said, I'm not familiar with that testing. But when I was there on scene and I saw it, it did not appear to have any blood in it.
And what would that
Now-
prove?
Your duties as a crime specialist, I believe one thing you said you took 1 week of crime scene preservation, correct? You had 12 weeks as an agent, 1 week was crime scene
Well,
preservation.
yes, during agent school, there is 1 week of basic crime scene preservation. Yes, sir.
And I don't mean that's the only amount of crime scene preservation training you had, but I just mean that's one of the things you got, right?
That's correct.
And the purpose of crime scene preservation, as we stated before, is to save anything that might have relevance to the case, correct?
That's correct.
And in doing that, would the axiom be correct that if it's in doubt, go ahead and save it each time?
Yes.
So you want to err on the side of caution, correct?
Yes.
But in this case, when you've got a dirty diaper that does have a bodily fluid in it, we know, that could possibly be tested by your own admission, you did not seem to think it was important enough to preserve it, correct?
Well, the testing was by your admission because I was unaware of that. But based on what I saw, I didn't see any blood in the diaper. And I had a test kit on me where I could test for blood, but I didn't see any blood in the diaper.
Now,
Or I didn't see anything that appeared to be blood in the diaper that I could test.
you were aware that this case involved a child that had suffered injuries, correct?
Yes.
Had they told you he had suffered internal injuries?
I'm sorry?
Had they told you he had suffered internal injuries?
They didn't, but I mean, based on not seeing anything on the outside, I assumed that it must be internal.
And in your training and your expertise in dealing with violent crimes over the years that you've been doing so, you're aware that sometime when someone has internal injuries, they begin to bleed throughout the digestive system and it comes out the other end, correct?
It's possible.
And
not
knowing
a
that that's
doctor.
possible, you would certainly be aware that if a child has received injuries that are internal, there's some possibility that that child could be passing blood throughout the body, correct?
I guess it's possible.
And with knowing that it's possible, wouldn't it make sense for you to take that diaper in and to be cautious and not to err, to make sure that that evidence was available to be tested?
I stand by what I did.
What I don't can you arrive at the point, Mr. Defense Attorney Man? Can you tell this me, like, call the show because I need to know. Email me, for the love of Pete. What would proving what would have been the point of testing that diaper for the presence of blood? What would that have proven? Is the fact that there are internal injuries in dispute here? No. You guys, I don't know where he's going with this. I really don't.
I did not see any reason to collect it at the time. If I knew this was going to be a question now, just like I would do with anybody else. I've collected things just because somebody thought that it may be important and it gets collected and nothing is ever done with it. But that was not important at the time and it was not collected.
And one thing's for sure, there's no way for us to test it now, is there?
That's correct.
I mean, you've
Now, in your
established that.
testing, I've already asked you about finding blood or bodily fluids and that type of thing. Did you find any other type evidence there at the scene that would help you in any way to identify where any injury could have occurred to a child?
No, I didn't.
So in all the testing, you came up 0 for all of that, correct?
Right.
Now, did you look on the walls of the dorm to see if it appeared someone had been pushed against or slammed against or anything like that?
I mean, there was no damage to any of the walls or anything. I mean, if somebody had touched a wall, I guess somebody could have touched it, but there was no signs of a struggle or anything like broken drywall or anything like that in the dorm room, no.
And no fluids or anything on the wall to cast suspicion?
No, sir.
Kelly, he died from blunt force trauma to the head. He was 18 months old. it's not like it would take much. It's not like you're going to find evidence of a struggle. Have they in the past, when a child has died in this way, found evidence of blood of a what's the word I'm looking for? Of an event, of a prolonged event? Yes, they have, but it's not required. It doesn't happen in every case. And at the end of the day, the fact of the matter is there were 32 minutes that she was alone with that child.
And so from an evidentiary standpoint, nothing was collected that was really of any use to determine what happened, correct?
That's correct. This was more of a, as far as what I was doing within the crime scene, was a documentation type case where you go and photograph everything there, hoping that photographs may tell you something later with somebody's story, because there's just not a whole lot there that really looks out of place. It looks like a college student's dorm room.
And you knew that when you got there that the room had been secured, correct?
Yes, sir.
And as far as your knowledge was, that from the time that that Trinity Poague had left that room to go to the hospital, from that moment on, she had not been back to the room, correct?
I was unaware of that. I know campus security is the one that let me in the room. So what happened between when I got there and when she left, I assume they kept it locked. There was crime scene tape there, but...
You saw nothing that would raise your suspicion that the room had been tampered with, did you?
No, sir.
Now, the allegations were that this was a violent injury to the child. Are you aware of that?
I mean, it would have to be a violent injury to cause the death.
Now, in a violent injury like that, normally would consist of some blood evidence occurring somewhere, would it not?
Not necessarily.
But it could, correct?
It could.
And you didn't find any blood evidence in that dorm room, correct?
That's correct.
Now, there are ways to sometimes try to check to see if there's blood in a room when you can't see it with your naked eye, aren't there?
There are some different techniques, yes, sir.
It's one of those techniques you can put out luminol.
Yes, sir.
And luminol is a substance that you put out will glow when it's put under a certain light to let you know it's blood.
No, that's not how
That's
it works.
right.
But
Tell me how it works.
You have to get the room very dark. You mix up your luminol, you spray it in the room, and the blood and several other substances will actually luminesce. So you'll see them. The best way to describe it is if you've ever had a glow stick and you break open the glow stick, the stuff that's glowing on the inside, that's what it looks like. So it would look like that glowing inside the room.
So if you saw those glows, it might not positively tell you it was blood, but it would be a possibility it was blood when it started glowing, right?
Correct.
And I know I've seen, and I know with you as a crime technician, you've seen sometimes there may have been someone killed where a body was here, but the body's gone. Nobody knows where the body's at, but you go search the person's house, put luminol down all over the house, and lo and behold, you can almost see the figure of the body where the blood was, correct?
You can see a blood stain. If typically we use luminol or blue star is a very similar chemical. We use those two if there's suspicion that the blood's been cleaned up. Because if the blood is there and it hasn't been cleaned up, then you can just see it on the surface. But if somebody makes an attempt to clean it up, a lot of times the luminol is more sensitive and you can see where blood had been.
I mean, that's how good it is. Even when it's tried to be cleaned up with some type of cleaner, it's still luminol will still point to you saying blood was there, correct?
Yeah, the only downside to using luminol is it's so sensitive. Like I said, it also reacts with other stuff. It works with a lot of cleaning materials and other fluids as well.
And you didn't use any luminol in this room to try to see if you could find any blood anywhere, did you?
No, sir.
That's something you could have done if you wanted to, though, right?
I could have.
Now, when you searched the room, did you find in the room somewhere, I believe you found a bottle of liquor, did you not?
I did.
You took a photograph of that liquor as well, did you not?
Yes, sir.
You got it.
Uh-oh, liquor. What? I appreciated this witness saying I stand by what I did. You know. Are you going to be getting?
Hand you what I've
There
marked
we
as
go.
defendant's
Okay,
exhibit
let's get that
3.
picture now.
Nancy, are you familiar with that photograph?
Now pay attention,
Yes, sir.
And is
cameraman.
that the photograph you took of a liquor bottle that you found in the dorm room there?
Yes, sir.
And you just took a picture and preserved it from the photograph, correct?
That's correct.
Left the bottle there?
Yes, sir.
Does the bottle appear to be full or empty, or what type fullness does it have?
It had been opened. There's still some in the bottom, but a lot of it is missing.
And you didn't make a determination, weren't responsible of the person that would go investigate and try to determine whose bottle of liquor it was or anything like that, did you?
No, I mean, it was in her room. So, I mean, you could place it as belonging to her, but In fact, I want to say I told campus security that it was there if they wanted to do something with it, because my understanding, not supposed to have it on campus, but it wasn't. It didn't mean anything to me and what had happened to the child.
I would move to introduce Defendant's Exhibit 3, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, sir. No objection.
All right, submitted without objection. Did you tender it to?
I don't know, but I would move to tender Exhibit 2 if I did not, Your Honor.
They're both admitted without objection.
Thank you.
Are we going to get to see this liquor bottle that means nothing? Guess not.
That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Redirect.
When you
Objection. Yes, boss lady. Boss lady says objection. Reaching. Did you stretch before you did that reach? Okay. So we're going to leave it here because, like I said, I have to be up at 4:30. So what we'll do tomorrow is go through the father's testimony, because I can stay on late tomorrow night because I don't have to be up early. So that's what we'll do. But for now, I just want to say thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it very much. If you haven't done so, could you do me a favor and give your girl a thumbs up on the stream? I would appreciate it very much. And I will see you guys back here tomorrow night. All right. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a great rest of your evening. And I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye. No, I got to watch the baby, which means I got to watch the nuggie, which means I got to get up early. And I need to, like, she's still asleep, but I need to have a moment to wake up. I can't really just, like, I can't get out of bed and then go down there. And then, I need to wake up. Plus, it's not like once I'm like, if I go down there, I'm going to go back to sleep. Once I'm up, I'm up. So anyway, good night, you guys. Have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you all later. Bye. It was good seeing everybody. I'm glad to be back. All right. Bye, you guys.